Legion, it's Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Civilization 6 Gathering Storm in our Carthage series. A couple of notes as I begin this episode. First of all, you might notice I have the notification log mod switched on. That was added to the game just after some offline play that I've done, and it's one of the mods that you can kind of switch on despite the fact that we are in the midst of a playthrough. That'll keep the notifications from kind of filling up the middle of the screen, which is always nice. But the main thing I wanted to comment on as I started this episode, there are two things, but the primary thing that got mentioned in the comments of the last episode and was a good point and is worth commenting on is that I mentioned that we are in the early game right now. And of course it's like, dude, we're in turn 137, it's 1460 AD, the other civilizations are, you know, doing pretty well right now. How is this the early game? Good question. So I tend to see Civilization 6, and this is just me, I understand that I might have misspoken in terms of the common lingo, but I see Civilization 6 in terms of three phases of gameplay. You have a phase where you're kind of establishing borders and setting up, you know, where your nation is going to be on the map, and then you have a phase where you're thinking more about what victory type, you know, are you definitely going to pursue, and maybe building up an army and spying on other nations. That's more in the industrial and later eras, right? And then finally you have the end game where you're done researching everything and you're just trying to finish out your win. And the end game can actually take quite a long time in Gathering Storm. So that's the first thing, is that I did say that we were in the quote-unquote first phase of the game, which is technically one turn away from ending. So I don't blame myself too much for for making that particular distinction, given that it's so close to actually not being true anymore. But we are, in my mind, still pretty early in this particular story. Now, the other thing is that I've been playing on historic speed a lot, which is a mod that exists that makes Civilization play more like the game I've always wanted to play when I play Civilization. And it's definitely thrown off my game in this playthrough because I haven't spent a lot of time playing vanilla, ironically, Gathering Storm since it came out. And it shows. So we're going to do our best to free Kumasi from Rome. There is a Legion Corps in Kumasi, as well as a Courser Corps, and there's a Knight up here, which is slightly problematic, and then a couple of level 2 and level 3 Coursers, crossbowmen. If I can eliminate some of these units in the area relatively quickly and just knock out as much of Rome's army as fast as I can, I think we might have a chance at freeing Kumasi, and then I will probably try and continue forward and take as much territory from him as possible, because I'm going to have to in order to win this. So I'm going to move this. And I mean win the game, not just the war for Rome and Kumasi. So the Punic War has definitely begun. We are, as you saw, one turn away from the Renaissance era. Let me give a few more orders here. Nice to clear some of that fog of war out. You are, of course, supported by a Great Admiral, so a little bit easier for you to do that. Misjudged that. I'm going to go back over by one tile. That's fine. Unfortunately, we didn't quite discover enough with the Hiccucent Draconis bonus to earn a Golden Age. So we are not going to get our Heroic Age, unfortunately. Because again, this age went by much more quickly than I was accustomed to. Alright, so we could attack with this swordsman, but I think I'm going to hold off because Kumasi is overwhelmingly strong right now. We do have it under siege, and I can keep it under siege relatively easily. Let's see what moves Rome makes. Nazca is, of course, currently our city-state. And it looks like Armagh has just declared war on me. So Rome just took control of that city-state. And Rome is slightly tied up with Nazca's units, which is all well and good. They can keep the distraction going while I properly orient myself towards taking Kumasi. We have some other units that are training up, of course. Have another Courser on the way down to join the fray. And a couple of Knights, which will be very useful to taking out some of the weaker units in play. Alright, so we've entered the Industrial Era. We're no longer in a Dark Age, which is nice. We'll exert more normal loyalty pressure. Wow, everyone is in a Heroic Age, including Rome, but also Amanitore and Gilgamesh. So everyone got a Heroic Age, but me. Yeah, like I said, too much historic speed, Hadrian. So let's see, need more housing. Lipicui, or Leptis Magna, needs more housing to continue growing, but 9 citizens is pretty good as a beginning. We're 2 turns away from another trader there. Alright, we need to train a frigate, potentially send some trade routes. There's been a volcanic eruption out here. Notice that the the static map effects actually do show eruptions. Pretty cool. Alright, let's make a dedication then. Ooh, 2 arms. We're going to be fighting a lot. Era score for a core non-barbarian or an army non-barbarian. I don't know how many cores or armies I'm going to be fighting yet. Heartbeat of Steam might be a better way to go. +1 era score for each industrial or later building constructed. Or we can go back to Hicks and Draconis, but I don't think we are going to discover that many more continents. So I feel like that's fairly limited compared to, say, Heartbeat of Steam. Let's go Heartbeat of Steam, and then 2 arms might be our next era dedication bonus. We have a great person as well. Gustavus Adolphus. Good, we can get a bomber unit with 1 promotion unit right away. That should help us take down Kumasi. We do need to transfer you to the city of Kitty. And let's move this swordsman in to support this combat effort. Alright, so some decisions to make here. This catapult just got hit by the city, and it can't currently do a lot of damage to Kumasi. If I keep it in range, it's almost certainly going to get shredded. But I can move the catapult back to where it might eventually be able to fire on any units that kind of come this direction. Which, for the time being, could be the best thing to do. We're 2 turns away, by the way, from having musketmen, although we don't have any niter. So I'm going to have to see if, like... Yeah, Cyrus doesn't have any... Gilgamesh doesn't have any. Okay. Huh. Now, I do have the ability to purchase a couple of new traders, which I might do in just a moment, but for now, let's continue focusing on units that need to be built. For instance, a siege tower to get over these walls and help me attack Kumasi directly. Let's work on that. And evidently, I just lost one of my policies. Which one? Did I have a Dark Age policy queued up? Maybe that's what it was. Alright, so I can go for the extra combat strength, the oligarchic legacy, which I think I'm going to go ahead and do. Extra production towards defensive buildings is a pretty good idea. The only question is there something more meaningful than that? I like feudal contract, for instance. This will help me just build faster units, or better units. I do want the upgrade bonus, but I don't think I need it right now. I'd rather have the production bonus towards building units to increase that. Is our policy agenda set? Yes. Alright, we have 2 envoys, so I can definitely use that to secure Nazca. Which is actually good news. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pour both of those into Nazca to ensure that it's very difficult to compete with us in terms of lordship of that city-state. Okay, now... You have 4 movement. Could I move you up to that? See, I want to pillage that trader. I'd rather do it with this knight, so this one can attack people. Well, I'll be able to get the trader next turn. I think I should focus on the potential for this knight to do damage. I can go ahead and ride him up that direction and see what happens. Yeah, he's not actually able to pillage the trader this turn. That's fine. So let's attack that crossbowman. Reduce their ability to do ranged damage. I'm going to move this pikeman into position. Give that courser corps something to think about, as well as support that knight in combat. Now this crossbowman can fire on Kumasi, but can also fire on this Legion corps. And this crossbowman can also do the same thing. Well, they can't fire on the Legion corps, but they have the choice of the two. So I think what I'm going to do is, since the stronger units appear to be up in this top half, we're going to move the crossbowman up here. Next turn he'll be able to fire on anyone I want him to fire on. Okay, and then this swordsman I kind of want to bring around as quickly as possible to join the fray on this side. So So that's what I'll do. Now Gustavus Adolphus will give orders to next turn, of course, but we're going to continue moving this guy up this direction. Don't have particularly good sight range on the Byreme at the moment. Need to promote him, I suppose. Okay, now let's move straight this direction with you. The Caravel does have better range. Clearing out that fog of war as best I can. Alright, so we're not going to attack just yet, because that's going to deal a lot more damage to the unit than to the city. That swordsman will skip their turn. That battering ram can just stay put. And now the question is... Ooh, I could go ahead and fortify, or pillage, rather.
Use of gunpowder
Nice.
is to make all men tall.
Alright, very good. So we now have the musketman technology researched. We aren't going to be able to have musketmen yet. But hang on. Maybe, just maybe, what would it take to train a musketman? 13 niter. That's a lot of niter. So we really just need to establish a city up there while we can. I think when we're done training a trader in these two cities, we'll get something going that direction. Now, I'm going to need this courser to come up here and defend against these jerks that are thinking they're going to mess with the Pecui. As much as I would like to bring this courser into the fight, I have another one training down here that's going to be ready in 6 turns. And this one's going to be ready in 5 turns. I could bring the skirmisher into play if I wanted to. We haven't done too much with the skirmisher unit yet. It's one of the new units in Gathering Storm. It's an upgrade from the scout, and they might be able to do a little bit of damage. I just want to protect them because later on he'll be a special ops unit, and I want a nice, powerful, leveled up special ops unit. So metal casting seems like a good idea to go for almost immediately. Be done in 4 turns. Banking also seems like a good idea given that my gold per turn is starting to drop. Why don't we do that? And we'll make our next decision kind of as they come. All right, let's see what Rome does. All right, they appear to have finished an encampment district here and moved a knight into it. Alright, so this pikeman's taking a bit of a beating. But he's promotable. So at least there's that. I like that we have Nazca fighting on our side, even if they're taking a bit of a pounding. Alright. He's no longer in play. We got some air score for killing him. Now, I really want that trader, believe me. But what I want more is this crossbowman. I could get some gold from pillaging the tile that I'm on. Nice. So we got some air score for killing that unit as well. Let's move you up here. I think we need to keep kind of scooting in this direction, but I'm worried about this encampment in particular. That's the biggest problem. Okay, I'm going to move this swordsman here, and we are going to attack this horseman as a means of just doing a little bit of damage where we can. Catapult is currently able to hold steady there, and they're not going to be able to... I don't think anything's going to be able to attack them right away. They might be able to charge a horseman down, so we'll see how that goes. But let's move this swordsman here as a way to protect them. And we're going to move this pikeman way the heck back. We're not going to be able to promote them this turn, but we might be able to save them. And then, of course, Gustavus Adolphus, I can instantly create a bombard unit with 1 promotion level. I just need to move him to the right position to be truly effective with that. So why don't I move Gustavus I'm thinking I should have him, like, here. We're going to move him while he's a great general, and then make him a bombard once he's in range. That'll kind of catch them off guard a bit. It'll be fun. All right. Yeah, see, I really want to pillage this for the gold. Let's go ahead and do that. Just do it that way. And then I suppose we'll just hang out for a bit. Kind of a dicey siege, to be sure. Alright, we're currently at war with just Armagh. Bandar Brunei is not our enemy. I'm going to move the skirmisher back, because I feel like the knights could get a funny idea about attacking him. Now, could I buy a siege tower rather than waiting on one? Yes, I could. And I'm going to. So I'm going to finish producing that later. But what I'd rather do at the moment is train... Let's see, which units are in danger, really? Let's just do another swordsman. Need to have just more melee units on the front line, as much as possible. All right, our courser is able to get up there and do some damage to that barbarian skirmisher. See a little bit of the skirmisher in action already there. And next turn. Alright, so that swordsman is definitely getting attacked on all sides, and they're probably going to focus on killing it. Yep, they are. That's okay. My strongest swordsman is down here. And then I think I just lost... I might be about to lose a crossbowman here. No, I didn't lose them. Okay, good. Did Nazca just fire on me? Yes, they did. Trajan just took Nazca from me. That is going to change things. Well, this game has just gone from bad to worse. Let's see how this goes. Special session of the World Congress. Oh, we didn't get to vote. Alright, so there's been a military emergency passed on Nubia. Who's involved? Cleopatra and Pericles.
The four
okay.
Characteristics of humanism.
That's wholly irrelevant to us. I would have thought that maybe... Well, they didn't take Nazca, they just took the city-state from us. So yeah, that makes sense. Now, you're a Nazca swordsman, and now you are a threat to me, which is very annoying. Right, I now have a bombard unit with 1 promotion level. I could also fire with him right now, which is hilarious. Let's give him combat strength when defending. And think about how we're going to handle this. We've moved this catapult back. Or no, we didn't move it back. It got kicked out of those borders. Let's keep this pikeman in position. Give them combat strength versus melee units. Move the siege tower there. Now I can definitely do some damage with you. Question is, how do I protect this crossbowman? I guess the smartest thing would be to move the crossbowman to where the catapult currently is. And I can't actually fire with that encampment. Alright, so you, I think, are going to need to just stay put, sir. I need you to fortify. And then this crossbowman is promotable. Although I feel like he's about to start taking a lot of damage if I don't move him. So let's do that. I can still promote them. Let's go ahead and give him garrison. Not that it's particularly useful at the moment, but it will be useful going forward. Okay, so I can't plunder Rome's trade routes due to their Golden Age bonuses at the moment. That's fine. Whatevs. You know what I can do, though? I can hurt their units. Question is, which ones do I want to attack? I think I'd rather just weaken the one that is closest to me. The issue is... That's going to give me some gold. Do I have a knight that's closer to being promoted? I do. Let's attack you. I guess I will keep this pikeman in position here for now. Let's move the battering ram down one tile just in case. See, if I attack this guy here, I move the knight into a position where it's easier for him to finish me off. I think what I'd rather do is get this swordsman up in this position, maybe even in that position. Kind of take a more aggressive stance in this area, so they can't move their units down and surround me on this side. We're going to do our best to take Kumasi. As soon as the siege tower is in place, we might stand a chance. But with Rome controlling Nazca, this has definitely been an awkward situation. So how about we... Does Rome have its own religion? No, Rome does not. So a combat bonus against civilizations that follow other religions wouldn't necessarily be useful. Let's go ahead and say mercantilism. Definitely need to move our skirmisher back away from that knight as quickly as possible. Run away! And it appears that we need to do some damage to these guys up here. These barbarians are potentially causing problems. Okay, Lipicui, I need you to trade... Well, that's a crappy trade route, honestly. But go ahead and do it. I hate it. Alright. I want to sort you by... I could trade with the Egyptian capital for some gold per turn. Let's do that. And then Tyre, of course, I have some additional units that I can build. Also more traders. But I think more important at the moment is just units to keep in the fray. Maybe having a knight training here would be a good idea, but I have coursers training in 2 other cities, so let's train another crossbowman here. And then I do need spies. I'll get a spy going in Lipicui, given that that's the farthest away. And it will take the longest for units that I train there to get down to the area where I am right now. Okay, so I can pillage for gold, which I think I need to do. And I have the option, I'm standing on farms here that I can pillage for health as needed. So if I can keep this pikeman alive and then move this siege tower into position next turn, we might actually be able to start doing damage to Kumasi. This just got difficult. Nope, you need to stay there. Okay, I think I've pretty much gone everywhere I can with this unit. Let's move the caravel up there. And we're just going to move the bireme. I'm going to just give the order for the bireme to travel to Z's, that direction, over multiple turns. Okay, what you going to do, Rome? That was a bad move. Alright, so that swordsman is getting knocked out, but doing some damage to some units in the process, which I'll take. Unfortunately, got a promotion right before the knights slaughtered him. I wish I had Niter in my borders. That would make me so happy right now, but I don't. Alright, so they know there's a bombard down there, and they're going to try and kill it. Bombards are harder to take out than the rest of my units, though, so this could be helpful. Alright, surprise, surprise, they are attacking that pikeman, which just got a boost towards melee combat, ironically. Okay.
I saw a bank that said 24-hour banking, but I didn't have that much time.
Plus 2 gold from quarries, which is good. The Phoenician catapult can be the one to finish off that unit. And, if I wanted to save this crossbowman, Ideally, I shouldn't have fired. I guess with the catapult, I would have moved the crossbowman into position. All right, we are absolutely going to move the siege tower down where we can attack the walls, or attack the city directly. But wait, I also need to just get the wall strength down in general. So we're going to start firing on Kumasi here. This knight is promotable, so we're going to give them combat strength versus ranged attacks, so they can stand on their own a little bit more easily. I don't have enough niter. I'm not going to for a while. Let's move you down here, and you'll be able to pillage a farm, hopefully in the next turn. I feel like I need to do something with this knight, but defensively, he's in one of the best positions I've got at the moment. Alright, this courser is promotable. That's fantastic. So, combat strength when attacking ranged and siege units? Yeah, because that'll also move me towards the flanking bonus. Trade route from Lipikui, from Tyre to Lipikui is no longer active. So we had a promotion boost happening here. Now I can train some builders, for sure. And I need to, because I've got some unimproved resources, for instance, around Kitty. Do I have any unimproved luxuries? Yeah, got some up here. Tell you what, let's buy a builder in Lipikui, and we're going to get that wine. And then I've got to wrap up this episode. Tense episode, for sure. Let's go for metal casting. And then I'm going to fortify this swordsman in position, pillage some districts. For some reason, this crossbowman cannot fire on that knight. It would be really nice if I could. Oh, it's the hills, because the city is on hills as well. Okay, so hills and hills completely blocking my view. Whatever. All right, so in that case, we are just going to fire on the city itself. All right, pikeman's not quite ready to attack yet. We'll keep you in position, as that's a good defensive place to be. And I think I will just move this. Maybe the best position to protect the knights in the area would be right here, because the pikeman is exerting zone of control, so anything that tries to ride up to the crossbowman has to pass the pikeman. And we're going to have the pikemen fortify in position and just wish them the best. That's how that's going to go. Keep that skirmisher there. And last, but certainly not least... Alright, that is the end of that turn. Turn 151, 1500 AD. We have a couple of coursers about to join the fray, and a skirmisher, and a swordsman rather, and some other military units training up, and a spy. So we've got some units on the way, and it's slow going, but we have managed to eliminate one of Rome's strongest units, and we do have some siege units in play. This is not going to be an easy war, though. We're going to have to win it, and then just keep fighting in order to keep from losing the game. So, not exactly how I envisioned my first series going in Gathering Storm on the channel, I'll say, but also keeps it entertaining, for sure. So, I'm going to do my best to see if we can pull this one out, and then we'll consider options, well, when we have to consider them. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. New episodes are coming out every day at 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.